This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
This episode of the 1911 podcast is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network. Here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts who didn't have enough City points to make that away game. For the football fashionistas that wear claret and amber with pride. And for the nostalgia merchants, because nothing beats the history makers. Whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker, win a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season. Simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day, 8am to 8pm. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org.
A lot like Chris's love life, Bradford and Stevenage reach a stalemate. And just how long can I keep milking the peck by the chickens meme? This is Almost No Pit, and you're listening to the 1911 podcast.
Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome back to the 1911. I'm back. I were away last week.
You were missed, mate.
I disagree. But before we go into proper football, American football, no one could change my mind. That's 4 hours of my life. I'm never getting back. And yeah, it's a bucket list item, but not one that I'd recommend, I don't think.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Because
I'm definitely not.
I mean, to be fair, before we've even come on call, I've just been watching the Chicago Bears losing at our time. Really enjoying it.
I'm sorry, but in what sport does it take over an hour to complete a 15-minute quarter? It's no sense.
It's not. I mean, I'm sure there's people who listen to this, if anyone does actually listen to us, that would probably massively disagree. Anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's, because I could moan about that all night long, to be honest.
And I'm with Andy, it's absolute yank nonsense.
Thank you. It is a poor man's rugby league. They wear pads, they're all a bit scared to touch each other. And yeah, it's not nice, it's not pretty, it's not fun, it's not big or hard. Anyway, on to the real football. City. Now, I missed last week, which I was a bit gutted about because you had a Mr. Gab Sutton on. Do I think you were harsh enough on him? Not a chance. You didn't give him as much grief as what I would have done. And the only thing I can say about his...
Easy words said.
Honestly, the only thing I can say about his predictions are they must be based on Football Manager, because going by my new Football Manager save, that's more realistic than real life. I'm lying in 17th, it's all going a bit Pete Tong. I've got injuries galore, I'm no Graham Alexander. So that's where he gets his predictions from, I think, not real football.
No, I think you're wrong. I mean, it's literally taken 30 seconds. In fact, it's probably taken about 10 seconds for us to disagree straight away, Andy. However, I think you're wrong. I think knowing Gab as long as I have done, I don't think he is genuinely as against Bradford as people think he is. I think that it's interesting that you'll say that and you'll think that he is, but he's not. He's not. I mean, to be fair, he's talked about coming up to a game within the next couple of months. I'm very worried. If I'm honest.
Will he get out alive?
Gab on North Parade.
I was talking about maybe getting him a balaclava or something so that people don't realise who he is. But no, I don't. I genuinely don't. I don't.
Get in touch with club. Get him dressed up as Billy Bantam for day. That'd be incredible. Do you know what? That'd make my year.
See, the crazy thing about Gab is he's literally about 6'6".
Is that tall?
He's massive. He literally looks like Hagrid. He's so tall. However, I do want to mention we do have another guest with us today.
We do. Thomas, how are we, son?
Good evening. I'm okay.
Yeah,
How
sorry.
are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry about that. We got a bit sidetracked there with previous episodes and nonsense, absolute tripe. So yeah, we got Tom on tonight because there's no Mr. Hudson with us. Mr. Ewan Hudson is in Surrey, enjoying himself, enjoying a weekend away from football, seeing some friends. So all fun to him. But Tom, you've come on because you've got something pretty cool going down on Tuesday night. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I'm on because it's a filler week, and but
we're not meant to tell people that.
but no. So on, I'm sure everyone by now has seen the whole peck by the chickens thing, and it has died down a bit, thankfully. But on Tuesday, I will be on North Parade before the game against Lincoln, giving out some stickers, filming some content with the Cultures podcast and Gamban, who are an anti-gambling charity. So if anyone's on North Parades before Lincoln, just come up to me, ask for some stickers. I mean, I'll be proactive about it anyway, going around people, just giving them out for free.
So what did Gamban like? So who are Gamban and what's the crack then? What's the connection?
So they're an anti-gambling company. So originally I was going to be working with Sky Bet. Gamban caught wind of it and decided to swoop in, take me away, and organise all this stuff. And they're great lads, to be fair. Like I said, we'll be filming some content for them as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say really.
How did it all come about? Like with Gamban, I guess is the question. And why did you decide to choose with Gamban?
I mean, I'd say most football fans gamble here and there, even if it's just an acca or two. No one actually likes gambling companies, and I just see it as a bit more ethical. It's for charity. Working with a bit of a crappy company seems a bit tone deaf, to be honest.
That's fair. So when you say it's for charity, that was going to be what my next sort of like question came on to then. So it's for Burns Unit, innit?
Yeah, so all money raised will be for Bradford Burns Unit, obviously a charity close to our hearts. And Gamban themselves are making a big donation as well.
Sweet. So on Tuesday night, if people come up to you, see you with the stickers and stuff, is there any way they can donate there and then to you? Is there a page? Are we setting up a page? What? Come on. We all want to get on board. We want to support the Burns Unit. We want to support this little venture that you've got going on. I think what you're doing is amazing. The fact that you're looking to not profit from something that has gone pretty viral. I mean, it's not just City fans now. It's viral UK-wide, worldwide, to be fair, in some senses. There's been plenty of Yanks on TikTok loving this Peck by the Chickens. So express yourself, mate. Well, is there any? How can we donate? How can we get involved?
So after this, actually, I'll pin a link to the Bradford Burns Unit. We're doing direct donations. We're not doing just giving page. But I'll make sure I'll direct people towards that, so they can give money. And if you do give money directly to Bradford Burns Unit, if you drop me a DM as well with proof of it, I'll send you some stickers in the post as well.
Oh, love it. I need to get me some of these stickers, so I think my donation will be going in fairly shortly. I need some stickers, plaster them around Wales.
I think we need them plastered everywhere, to be honest with you. I think it doesn't matter where it is in the world, we need some of these stickers, and I think it's a great cause that you're doing, Tom, and I think it's buzzing for you, mate, and hopefully it all goes well on Tuesday. So again, remember, North Parade on Tuesday. Let's support Tom, let's support the charities.
Who's it going to be, Tom?
So I'm going to be in Bradford quite early, but I imagine we'll be sort of round North Parade from 4 p.m. onwards, for definite. So yeah, like I said, I will be proactive about it, giving stickers out, because we've got so many, probably more than we'll manage to give out. But yeah, but if you do recognise me and you want some stickers, do not hesitate to ask at all.
It's a shame this isn't going out on. This one's not going out on YouTube, really, isn't it? Because
nobody needs to see Tom's luscious look.
What nobody can see right now, because it's not going out on YouTube, is Tom's been sat here talking for the last 5 minutes, just swooshing his hair back, thinking he's God's gift to mankind, thinking he's part of the Weller Neutrogena adverts and all that good stuff. Head and shoulders, 'cause you're worth it. But yeah, great cause, mate, honestly. And we're proud that we've got such proactive fans, and I think the Burns unit will be eternally grateful for it. Any help for the Burns unit, we all love it. We all know how much it means to us. It's a great cause. So big tip of the hat to you, pal. That being said, we are here to talk about the Bantams. So we went away to Stevenage, and I think when we went down there, a point, we'd have all taken a point at the start of play. Is it a point gained or 2 lost?
I think it's always a point gained. I think we're the only team to have come away from Stevenage this season to have got a point, especially with the injuries and disruptions that we've had in the last week. I mean, having Sarcevic and Humphreys going down in the same training session has been pivotal towards looking at what the team was. I personally, as you know, deja vu, Groundhog Day, whatever you want to call it, Andy. I said straight away in the group chat was, I'm a little bit worried about today.
Yeah. You did say that, and I think you were right to be worried, but I think Graham Alexander pulled the cat out of the bag. I think the changes that he made, especially at the back, putting in your likes of Kieran Kelly, were a stroke of genius. I haven't seen Stevenage for a fair couple of years now, and I didn't know how their game were played. But looking at how physical they were, I think it was the right call to put in your likes of Kieran Kelly, your big boys, your big strong boys that can fight for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Kelly was probably our best of the back three on Saturday. And the only thing that I think we were missing is Curtis Tilt. Curtis Tilt would have had a field day in that game, I think.
Agreed. I completely agree with you on that one. I think he would have done. Obviously the game started off very quick. We were straight off again. We never give teams chance at the beginning, do they? We don't let teams settle. And we were very lucky that we got a goal straight away within the first two to 3 minutes, where Burns scores that goal, and we're looking like a very confident team, and we've had a great start.
Well, without sounding like I know everything, because I don't, it might be wrong, but I'm sure that we're like one of the highest shots, or if not the highest, we've had the most shots in the EFL this season. Which go. I'm sure I saw that stat somewhere. If I'm wrong, shoot me down. But I'm sure I saw that stat that we're one of the highest for shots taken in EFL this season so far, which goes to show what sort of style of football we're playing. We're just going for it. The issue that I think that we do have is in that because we're so gung-ho, we're leaving so much space behind, and I think that's why we're conceding so many as well. And I long term, is it a bit of a concern? Yeah, I think it is. But when you look at the players that we've got injured and to come back, do I think that sort of like that worry and vulnerability that we've got, I think that might dissipate a bit, and we might see us not struggling as much when it comes to the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, I think I have massive concerns about that. I have mentioned, I probably haven't mentioned it on the podcast, but I do think that there is going to be probably a game this season. I might be controversial here, but I do feel that there is going to be a game at some point this season where we might lose 4 or 5-0, where we aren't great at the back and we're not great up front. And it does tend to worry me. You know, even at 1-0, I felt that Stevenage would probably get back into the game, which they did, which also, I think it's fair to say, was a good goal. There's been, let's face it as well, there's been a fair bit of conversation, I think is probably the right word, about whether Sam Walker is good enough in this goal for us. I know that, for instance, we've talked about this and whether he is good enough. I'm not saying that he had any chance with that goal because I don't believe that he did. But Tom, I'm interested. I'm going to ask you actually, what's your thoughts on Sam Walker at the moment?
When you say that, it's actually something I wanted to bring up because I saw someone giving pelters yesterday on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Look, here's the thing. I don't think anyone's saying he's a top League One goalkeeper. I don't think anyone's that deluded, but I think he's fine for now. In the future, I hope an opportunity for a better goalkeeper will come up. I'm sure it will. But for me, he's sort of a jack of all trades. You know, he's a decent shot stopper. He can play a pass. He's confident. He'll come for a cross. You know, he'll sweep when he has to. He's not exceptional at anything, but I think he's just sort of good at most things, really. And I think that's what we need at the back. We need someone that the defence can rely on, they're confident about. So to suggest he ain't good enough for me, I think it's really harsh.
I'm with Tom on that, 100%. Like, I mean, yesterday, Sam Walker's distribution was absolutely phenomenal. It were incredible. But I've said it before as well on pod. Like, the league won for a reason. At the end of the day, if you were going to be top tier, he'd be playing top tier football. So I'm not sure what more people can expect really from their goalkeeper. He's going to make mistakes. He's a League One goalkeeper because that is going to be part of the game. I'm with Tom. Like, I think it's all a bit untoward, all this blasting of him and going in and saying, "Oh, he should have done this. He should have done that." Why aren't you in goal then? You know.
See, I think it's a case for me where, for instance, people are starting to call him out a little bit, which I do completely agree. It's unfair. However, I think there's a lot of love for Sam Walker. And I know there is, for his ability and for what he's done for this club. I don't feel that because somebody's starting to go, okay, is he good enough for this football team, that it should be seen as that they're now deciding that he shouldn't be in this team. I agree with Tom. I've seen the Twitter posts where somebody has called him out massively. But is it unfair for us to call the player out?
No, I don't think anyone's above criticism. Nobody should be. I mean, some players are more prone to it. Like, I feel like we have some players that can get away with murder and no one will say anything. But nobody should be above criticism. It's part of the game. But I feel sort of the last 2 weeks, maybe Sam has got a bit more than he's due, really. And to the minority, it's a minority, I think, that are calling him out. But for that goal yesterday, I don't think a Premier League keeper's saving that. It was such a good first-time strike.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Tom. I think that is some strike. He's got no chance of getting anywhere near that.
The criticism was that he didn't dive for it, but even if he did, no one was...
He's not getting anywhere near that. He's not getting anywhere near it. And I feel that there is a little bit of boo boys, but I think it's really important that we do talk about it, you know, not hide behind it. There is a bit of controversy. When you look at, for instance, Cleary's goal for Barnsley last week, you know, there was talk about, for instance, you know, his movement, it wasn't right, blah, blah, blah. can we not all kind of agree at the same time that that was a generational goal that we're probably never going to see at Valley Parade again? I would say for me, it's probably the best goal I've ever seen, and I was there when Paul Scholes scores that goal against Man United.
Oh, it's no, I'm sorry, right? It's not. It's nothing like the Scholes volley. The Scholes.
I disagree.
It's up there.
It's up there. It was a good strike. Don't get me wrong, but Paul Scholes volleyed the technique required for that. That was just. It were a great goal, and it were from his own half, but it's a punt at best. Paul Scholes.
It wasn't a punt, was it, Andy? I mean,
it was.
Where he saw the goalkeeper, where that ball lands in the goal, he could not have hit that any better, and he has hit that from so far out. I personally believe that is the best goal I've seen at Valley Parade.
Look, I mean, it's a fantastic goal, and like I said, we probably won't ever see a goal like that again at Valley Parade.
Exactly.
But there is, look, it takes a lot of skill, but there is some luck to it.
There were a lot of luck on it. I mean, Paul Scholes' volley, we can discuss this till cows come home. Paul Scholes' volley, two keepers weren't getting anywhere near that. It were intentional. The skill and technique involved in that was
really not. I think it's important that I mention that I'm not knocking Paul Scholes' goal, because up until last week, that was the best goal I've ever seen. I was in the Cop, and I do think that was a phenomenal goal. However, I just think that goal, from where it was, how he saw that opportunity, the way he put that ball was incredible. And like I say, I think going back to the original point was that Sam Walker got a lot of abuse for that in not saving that goal. I don't think Sam's got any chance with that. But I do think it's important that we mention it on the pod, because there is talk of whether Sam is good enough for this football team. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of do have a couple of feelings about that. Whether it's a case of that he has let in a couple of easy goals this season, but do I have a massive problem with him? Absolutely not. But I am starting to go, is he the goalkeeper that's going to take his club forward? I'm not sure.
Is it the fact that we're being overcritical as fans of players? And is it the fact that as a club this season we're performing so far above what our expectations were? Our expectations have gone from what avoid relegation at all costs to, we might actually, there's a chance we could go up back to back here. So are our expectations now rising too high? Would we be having the same conversation if the season had panned out as kind of was expected, where we're going to be losing and conceding a lot more than what we have been doing? So are our expectations expecting too much of these players now?
The way I see it still is, if we don't make playoffs, I don't think there's any shame in that whatsoever. If we fall off a bit, still finish sort of top half of the table, I don't think anyone can be too peeved about that. Probably a bit disappointing because of where we are now, but we probably do need to check ourselves a bit, because we are massively overachieving. Don't get me wrong, I think we've got a good squad, a competitive squad for this level, but it's not a promotion squad. I think we're just incredibly well drilled and we have a great manager. I think that's what it is. I don't think there's any other manager in the league that would get a tune out of these players like Alexander is. Does that make him the best manager in the league? Probably not. Sometimes it just clicks, which is what I think the case is here with us.
I think you're right. We don't have any sort of like top tier world beaters for the league in, but what we have got is we've got 22, 23 footballers that are all singing from the same hymn sheet, and they're all of a decent enough quality to not need that star boy. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I don't buy into this. We don't have any top tier top tier players, so we shouldn't be going up, or we are massively overachieving. I think Alexander has just recruited 22 guys that are all of the same sort of mindset, the same sort of character, and it just works. So you don't need that big star boy to be able to like carry you through, guys. We're not a team. Even if you look like 2 seasons ago, we were a team that relied on Andy Cook solely. We're not a team anymore, are we?
No, we're not. And I think you're right in the sense that we're probably looking for a negative. And I think you're absolutely right in that we are looking for. We are Bradford City. We're so used to being a team that have something to complain about. We have had it for so many years. This season, and we've got pretty much nothing to complain about. And I think that it's probably our mentality that we're looking for a fall guy, or we're looking for someone to blame, or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, if you look back on it, I look back at that point against Stevenage. Am I disappointed? Yeah, because I felt that we could probably have gone on and won that game. So, we do. Yeah. Oh, we do. But there's been a couple of games where we should have done that. You know, and it's really difficult because we kind of we look at things have changed at this football club massively over the last 18 months, and we probably are looking for some kind of fall guy or someone, but it's just part of our mentality. I think that that's just what we're used to. And listen,
it's imposter syndrome, isn't it? That's exactly what it is.
This is exactly it, Andy, and you're absolutely right. It is absolutely imposter syndrome where we just are not entirely sure what's going on. We haven't got it through in our mindsets that we're third. Let's remember this. We haven't won for, 3 games now, but we're still third in the table. If we'd have won yesterday, we'd have gone top of the table. It's bizarre. We're just not used to this, especially when we've just come up from League Two. It's really bizarre. Like, listen, we talked at the beginning of the season. I know, Andy, and I've mentioned this a million times, but we've talked about the fact that, you know, you felt that we might pick up a playoff place. I'd be devastated if we didn't get a playoff place now, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you look at it, we're a quarter of the way through the season now, Tom, and we're up there. And I've been saying this in our group chat quite a lot recently. It looks like the sort of league that it could go down to final day to even, and there's going to be a patch where we taper off a little bit, but I think we've got enough about us where it's going to come down to a top 3 shootout on final day for the autos, and I reckon we're going to be part of it. I'll put my heart out there now and say we are going to be part of that auto push.
Do you want to know what concerns me the most? And you're going to hate me for saying this, but if just say we went up, let's just say we will get autos or, you know, whatever, I'd be really concerned about us in the Championship. We've recruited well this summer, but we'd practically need a brand new squad that's Championship ready.
Do we though, Tom?
It's a different kettle of fish, the Championship, though. I mean, League One in some ways is a lot like League Two, quality-wise. Championship, you're playing against teams that have been in Prem.
Yeah, but do you not think that the way Championship football is played suits our game plan a lot more? You got to think. Look at our games. Who have we struggled most against this season? Your Peterboroughs, your Northamptons, the ones that are playing League Two style football. Who have we done well against? Huddersfields, Lutons that are playing Championship style football. The ones that are coming at us, we're having a high press, quick turnover, and doing them on a counter. We're letting them have the ball. And if we go up this season, then you're going to have a lot of the other teams having a lot of the ball, and that's going to play surely into our hands. And we've had 2 championship sides, am I wrong, this season in Cup, and they're not low-end championship sides. They're both doing really well.
Blackburn aren't.
I haven't checked. So
They're Blackburn aren't, mate.
they were at the time. They were at the time.
We beat Middlesbrough, I suppose. Was it pre-season we beat Borough?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, so like, these players can hold it against that. Whether they can do it for an entire season, that's a different story completely. But I don't think. Do I think if we go up, we go straight into a promotion? No, it'll be a relegation fight.
But also, Andy, I think it's important. I think Jamie Rayner put out a tweet. I think it was yesterday, where he said, "Quarter of a season done. There's only 3 teams that have lost 1 game all season, and that is Coventry, Middlesbrough, and Bradford.
Decent.
We've lost 1 game all season."
I mean, it had to be against Donny as well, didn't it?
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Do you know what? I don't mind losing that because look at how terrible they've been since, though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I think that this is, and I think you mentioned it earlier on about imposter syndrome, and I think you're absolutely spot on. I think we're struggling to work out where we are, what we're doing. This season has been ridiculous. I love watching City again. I haven't loved watching City for so long. So many years. I mean, to be fair, the game last week against Barnsley, what a game that was. What?
Incredible
do you know?
game.
Do you know what? And I actually enjoyed the game. I can't remember the last time where we drew a game or whatever where I've gone, do you know what? Really enjoyed that game.
We probably won't see a better game all season.
No.
And we drew.
But this is the thing about this football team and the way that we play. I think that I think that we probably are. I think you're right, Andy. I think we're looking for reasons to kick off. And then I think that is going back to Sam Walker. I think maybe that's partly where maybe we're expecting a little bit too much. A point at Stevenage, a point where nobody else has got a point this season where we probably should have beaten them. I mean, I think their manager mentioned that he thought that they dominated the game after the 15th minute. I don't know what game he was watching, but I certainly think in that second half, we definitely should have scored that second goal. I felt that we dominated them. I think they probably had 4 chances out of the blue. I certainly don't think that they dominated that game whatsoever. And yeah, that's kind of becoming the Bradford City thing, really.
It is. And the thing is, right, and we've just spent the last 10 minutes talking about how we're being overcritical. But I do have to mention, what is Tyreek doing to Graham Alexander to get picked? What has he got on him? I don't understand it.
Do you not like him?
I'm not a fan. No, I find him.
This episode of the 1911 podcast is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network. Here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts who didn't have enough City points to make that away game. For the football fashionistas that wear claret and amber with pride. And for the nostalgia merchants, because nothing beats the history makers. Whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker, win a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season. Simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only, maximum 1 reward or offer per player per day, 8am to 8pm. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org.
This is an ad from BetterHelp. Some days, it feels like you're carrying something no one else can see. Stress, grief, responsibility. The kind of heaviness that doesn't show up in photos but follows you everywhere. You don't have to hold it alone. With BetterHelp, you can talk to someone who helps lighten what you've been carrying for far too long. Take the weight off. Start therapy anytime from anywhere online with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/randompodcast for 10% off your first month of online therapy.
he's got pace and he has got talent. We've seen that. We've all seen his talent before. But his reluctance to take on a man, he looked light yesterday. He looked really light. And I know that at half-time you were late coming back on pitch because he threw up just before. So he wasn't well. But even in previous games, he looks light. He doesn't look to take on his man very often, and his final product is of League Two standard.
We've talked about this before. I've always said that my problem with Tyreek is not necessarily his ability. Well, no, it probably is his ability. Is that the final ball is always lacking with Tyreek. I don't think he was great yesterday, but I do think that in the last few weeks he has been pretty decent. I think he probably has deserved his place. The sad thing is, whenever you look and you see that he's starting, personally for myself, is I go, oh no, really? But I do think, again, that this is a similar to Sam Walker, that we're looking for players to be critical. However, I don't think he was great yesterday. I don't think he was very good at all.
I think the thing with Wright is, when we originally got him on loan, he was a winger, wasn't he? He was like an outright winger.
Yeah.
And then he was put up front. Then we got him back in again, and we put him on. Was it the left wing back?
Yeah.
Was it left or right?
Left.
I think it was.
He's left.
Yeah. And now he's playing sort of behind the striker in sort of a weird attacking midfield sort of hybrid thing. I think we've moved him around a lot, and we don't quite know what his place in this squad is, and I don't think he knows either.
Do you think it's good enough, Tom?
I think he's a like Wright, and he sometimes shows flashes of what he can do, but I feel like we've got better options than him. And that's not to say I think he's bad. I don't know. It's hard to have a proper opinion on him when he doesn't seem to have, like...
See, I would say on that one, Tom, I think that is probably saying, I think that you're probably trying to stick up for him a little bit there, but you're not showing him yourself. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you probably nailed it a bit. When you see him starting, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? But that doesn't mean I think he's going to have a stinker, you know. But you kind of just feel there's a good chance he might go missing this game.
I think he does go missing. I think when he comes on as a sub, he's more impactful than when he starts. But going on to subs as well, Lapsley is turning into my favourite super sub. That boy, I don't think he's at a level to start in this team, but when he comes on, the energy that boy brings is phenomenal. Him and Cook yesterday changed that second half, because at the time they came on, Stevenage were on top. They'd had a couple good shots on goal straight after half time. They'd had a couple shots. They were trying to twist the screw a little bit, but when Lapsley and Cook came on, game changed. We're everywhere.
I don't think they were on top. I don't think they were ever on top, if I'm honest with you, and I'm going to stick with my views earlier on. But I think you're absolutely right about Lapsley. He's, from my understanding, he nearly signed for Oldham this summer, and I think that it would have been devastating to let him go. I think what he's done this year, and certainly since he's come in since January, the thing is with Lapsley is when he's on it, he's brilliant. He's honestly, I mean, look at those couple of games last year when he was on it. He was absolutely brilliant. He was, in those games, pivotal towards us getting promoted. I love having him off the bench. Whether he's happy with that, I'm not sure, but he just adds a lot, and I think he's been a massive addition. I think that when you look at January, for instance, which feels like a long time ago, I think you look at the kind of the impact that the players have brought in since January. I think that he has probably been that player. I think he probably is the player that came in January that has been the most impactful.
He is, and he has been quality. In fairness, now there was one man that nobody likes to talk about in a football match. So the ref, he's been given an opportunity to ref this game, and he's been at Premier League level, and he has a stinker. How often is it you get both sets of fans coming out of the ground at 90 minutes saying he was as equally awful for us as he was for them? Granted, that probably evened it out a little bit because he were awful for both ways, but he missed a blatant penalty for us.
Do you know what? It wasn't so much the big decisions for me. It was all the little stuff where when he blew his whistle, he had no idea what he was going to give, just because he just seemed to give everything wrong. Like, booze the whole time were for him. No, all the fans booing their own team. It was for the ref. It was just disgusting. And I had a bit of a look on Google about him, actually. So Google told me, do you remember that Exeter game where they had 6 subs and we had to replay the game?
Yeah.
No, you're joking.
No, I'm not. Guess who was refereeing that game?
No, he was. Do you know what? He was absolutely terrible. I remember there was the time where the Stevenage player had the ball and he just fell on the floor and he literally just put his arms around the ball. And there's Max Power and somebody else, and they literally went to the ref. Come on, that's going to be it's got to be a free kick, and the ref gives it the other way. He was horrific. But what he would do is, the other thing that really wound me up was he'd blow the whistle, and it'd take him about 10 seconds to decide which way he was going to do it, and it was literally like almost like tossing a coin in his head and going tails, heads, to work out who he was giving the ball to. Horrific, absolutely horrific refereeing. And I think that the most important point is, well, it wasn't just horrific for us, he was horrific for Stevenage as well. One thing I want from a referee is, if you're going to if you're going to play the game, and let's say that you don't like a certain aspect of the game, but you're consistent with that, and then the players understand that, and they kind of go, right, okay, this referee isn't going to allow this. He didn't have any of that aspect.
I agree.
He was just literally just going, oh, okay, heads, tails in my head. Yeah, I'm going to give it that way instead. Absolutely clueless. And you could see, because of how the pace of the game was, certainly in the first 20, he couldn't handle it. He could not handle the pace of the game. And he was like, he just looked flustered all the time, all the way through the game, where he was like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm really struggling with this game. And he did. And the best bit is, like you say, he's refereed in the Premiership. How was he refereed in the Premiership? I mean, obviously, because he's got VAR that's going to help him with every decision. But if there was VAR yesterday, the game would probably still be played. You know, it would still be playing right now because of how bad he was. And I don't think I don't think that's too far. I think that he was absolutely horrific. The annoying thing is, he's probably going to be he's going to be refereeing in the Premiership in a couple of weeks' time. And it's just it's not acceptable. This, we expect a decent referee, but you could see it was far beyond him. It was too much for him. He couldn't handle it. I'm just
surprised they want a red card in that game, because you could see how frustrated the players were. They were, and when they're frustrated, that's when people start flying in, doing stupid things. So I think both teams did well to keep 11 men on the field, to be completely honest.
It's a good job Baldwin wasn't playing, is all I'm saying. He'd be on a 6-game ban.
He'd have lost
He'd have lost it completely.
He would have done, and like when you looked at Max Power, whenever it had close-ups of Max, you could see that he was just shaking his head, going, "What is this referee all about?" And as I say, and I think it's really important to say, it wasn't just against us; it was against them as well. He just wasn't consistent at all. He just changed his mind with what he wanted the rules with. Terrible referee. And the worst thing is now he's obviously going to end up refereeing a game again for us. And, I just hope that we have the days of Deadman gone and dusted. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to just put up with this guy again. And
this is the thing, though. Is it a deeper rooted issue in English football in general, with football becoming such a money orientated sport now, so much money flying around? Do our referees need to be trained better by the FA to be able to put forward a product that is serving to the amount of money that is flying around? I've got a problem with refereeing in this country currently. Is there a bit of an epidemic?
Absolutely, and the problem is it's not easily fixed because essentially nobody wants to be a referee because it's not an attractive job. You're going to be hated by everyone, disrespected by everyone. I'm not sure what the pay's like, but it's not great. I mean, there's a reason ex-footballers never become referees, isn't there?
Yeah. Although I will mention this, Tom, he was an ex-player.
Was he?
He didn't. I looked at his Wikipedia, but I mean, he wasn't anything special whatsoever. Right. Like, I think he had like a few games in non-league and stuff. I mean, I think he probably played about 40 games or something like that.
Oh, but yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, every referee has played at some level, obviously, even if it's Sunday League. But you know, you don't see sort of professional footballers becoming referees.
Could you imagine Stevenage or Roy Keane turning out I'd love that. Roy Keane as a ref.
Do you know what? Everyone would be sent off. Everyone would be sent off. If anybody talked to Roy Keane, the games wouldn't exist.
If Roy Keane were a ref, it'd give me like, do you remember Pierluigi Collina sort of vibes?
I mean, what an absolute legend he was.
The first referee to appear on a football game cover. Yeah, I think it was Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, Pro Evo. I remember that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It was either 2003 or 2004 or something like that.
There you go. Some stats there.
Right.
Was it PES 4?
I don't know, but he won. I remember it. I can picture it in my mind. But we're digressing. I just wanted to just have a check on the refs there because it is an issue. There is a lot of money flying around in football, in modern football, and I think it is something that needs to be discussed a bit more, especially when there's so much riding on results. And I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I think it is something that needs to be looked into by the FA, and it's something where training needs to be improved. And these referees, these assessors coming into grounds, I don't know what they're assessing because the feedback must be absolutely shocking from what we're seeing as fans. However, we will move on, and usually this is the part of the show where I'd go to our mate Ewan for his grandstand classifieds, but today we're going to have it with Christopher.
Yeah, unfortunately, my presenting skills were terrible last week, so I'm going to try and do the League One roundup. So Bolton beat Cardiff 1-0. Cardiff are still top of the table, but Bolton are still climbing. Mansfield drew with Wigan 1-1. AFC Wimbledon, for a change, the team who everyone had for finishing bottom of the table, they did lose, but I think they're still fifth in the table. A massive win for Rotherham against Barnsley. Leyton Orient beat Lincoln. Luton finally, under Jack Wilshere, get a 1-0 win against Northampton. Peterborough losing at home to Blackpool, which has cost Darren Ferguson his job, which also means now that Darren Ferguson will be appointed the new manager of Peterborough. Reading 1-1. Stevenage, obviously, with us. And also, can I mention, mind the gap, Wycombe 3, Huddersfield 0. Alfie May, that everyone's been talking about and saying he should be playing up front, blah, 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 gets sent off in around the 15th minute.
And that were I saw the video of Alfie May's and I don't know what he was thinking. Like, he came in like Karate Kid. It was mental.
Well, they've had that a couple of times this season because Goodman as well got sent off earlier on in the season, so I'm enjoying it. There is obviously talk about whether Lee Grant stays. Personally, for me, I think he needs a 10-year contract with Huddersfield because he's doing a great job there. But mind the gap, mind the gap.
And I think that's
By the Chickens.
I think that's a fair analysis of Lee Grant's current season there, isn't it? It's still weird that none of these bigger boys in league are actually coming to the fore, which is so tight. It's such a tight league, and like I said earlier, I do think it's going to go down to the wire. Now we've got Lincoln on Tuesday in this rearranged fixture, as we spoke earlier. Tom's going up North Parade, looking to do a bit of content. So, like he said earlier as well, if you see him, go say hello, have a wave, and be like, "Hi, Mum, I'm on YouTube," or wherever it's going. I'm sure it'll be fun for you all, and we'll get the stickers out. But we win on Tuesday night, we go top of the league. Do we see a win?
This is an ad from BetterHelp. Some days, it feels like you're carrying something no one else can see. Stress, grief, responsibility. The kind of heaviness that doesn't show up in photos but follows you everywhere. You don't have to hold it alone. With BetterHelp, you can talk to someone who helps lighten what you've been carrying for far too long. Take the weight off. Start therapy anytime from anywhere online with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/randompodcast for 10% off your first month of online therapy.
Why not?
Look, I mean, we've still got lots of players out, but we're at home. The ball's very much in our court. It's our game to win, and a lot of the time when we're going to games and against Huddersfield where we had our whole back line out, and we're essentially playing not reserves, but they're not our first choice.
Fringe players.
Yeah, exactly. We went and stuffed them, so there's no reason why we can't do the same to Lincoln. Okay, our attacking threat's not good at the moment. We've got Point and out probably. Sarcevic I think he's going to be touch and go for Tuesday. Not too sure about Patterson, but I'm assuming he'll be out as well, as he always is. But we're at home. So
Can I mention about Patterson as well? He's now got his Stone Cold Steve Austin haircut.
Oh yeah.
Literally, obviously, if anybody knows, Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music is glass smashing.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's kind of that. Unfortunately, that is pretty much Patterson. Really, that he's made of glass. He's a bit of a Jack Wilshere, but hopefully Humphreys might be back. I don't know. We do need a couple of players back, I think, on Tuesday if we're really, really going to be expecting something from that game.
I want to ask this, right, because I am aware we're pushing for time. Now, Andy Cook, is Graham Alexander being too careful with him? Is it time to throw him back in, or does Graham Alexander now see him more as impact off the bench player rather than in his starting squad?
For me, I don't think he's been too cautious at all. So I love Andy Cook. I refer to him as my dad.
That's only because you don't know. That's only because you don't know who your real one is.
I don't call him daddy though. Let's get that straight. I still think it's his place to earn back. For the moment, Swan's done bits for us this season. Okay, as of late, he's not been quite firing on all cylinders. But I still think Andy Cook, like anyone else, has to earn their place back in the squad. Am I wrong?
No, I totally agree with you. Like, nothing should be given and everything should be earned. I'm 100% for that. But do you feel like the way I look at it, the way I'm looking at it and seeing it is we're being overcautious now with his return, when, like, for example, the Stevenage game, it were obvious from minute one that it were a game for a Cook type striker to be able to, because Will Swan were going to get bullied a bit. And I'm just starting to think now, is Cook being seen more in a sort of like Lapsley role in squad rather than a first team start every week?
Yeah, I think that is definitely the case. I think we've got to be very careful with him. Let's remember he's 34, or is he 35 now? I think he might have just turned 35. I could be wrong on that one.
I think he's just had his birthday, yeah.
Yeah, so I think with an ACL, he needs his time. We need to look after him. But I feel that Cookie's spot now is literally off the bench to create opportunities, which is a luxury, if we're honest, to have. Will Swan was obviously yesterday quite isolated at times. He doesn't seem to always do very well when he's kind of on his own. I think that Cookie is that impact sub now. I don't think there's anything behind that. I just think that that's where we're looking after him, and that's the kind of position that he plays. He's coming towards the end of his career, but that's fine, and I think that he's probably quite happy with that as well. You know, he don't have to play for 90 minutes. He can do what he wants. He can eat and drink and whatever he does.
Sure, he will be happy with that, you know. I think he'll want his spot back. I really think he...
But that's good though. I want him to do that. I want him to want his position back. I want him to, I want it to be in a month's time where we're going, okay, Cookie's back in the team. Absolutely. But you're right. I think that he does have a different drive about him where he wants to be involved in everything. But is that not the kind of player that you want? Of course it is. Yeah, I think I'd take that. And if he's not happy, we'll take that.
Right, gents. Before we wrap up, predictions. Tuesday night, Lincoln City. Tom, what's happening? What we got?
I'll tell you what, before Tom does his prediction, I'll tell you what, if he gets it right, I'll give £10 to the Burns unit.
I'll join in on that.
I think it'll be... We don't keep clean sheets, so I'm going 2-1, but I think we are going to win it. Do I need goal scorers?
No.
I'll tell you what, if you get the goal scorers, I'll add an extra tenner.
The problem is we don't even know who's going to be playing because there's so many players up in the air, but I'll go for Swan and Newville.
We've got it there. If them two are on the score sheet in a 2-1 victory, I will donate 20 quid to Burns unit. Christopher?
I'm going to go with... I'm going to be really boring. I'm going to go with 1-1. I'm going to go with 1-1. Yeah, I just think that we need some players back. How about yourself?
I'm quietly confident, 3-1. Like Tom said, we're not keeping clean sheets at the moment, but I do think there's goals in it for us, and I don't think they're gonna want to play football, which will play into our hands, and they're not going to be as much of a physical threat as what Stevenage were. So, and again, that'll play into our hands. So I reckon there's going to be a bit more opportunities on goal. I think 3-1's a solid odds-on winner. So I think I'll go with that. But either way, as long as we don't lose, I'll take pretty much anything at this point of the season. Like, I'm on cloud 9, boys. I'm enjoying it.
I think we all are, mate. I think that's the one thing that we have to remember is that we all are. We're all loving this season, and that's the most important thing. We're just loving watching Bradford City again, and it's amazing. It really is. This year is not what we expected, and yeah, just enjoy it, City fans. We're third in the table. We haven't won for 3 games, but we're still third in the table, and we could. If we'd have picked up another goal, we could have been top of the table again. So this is a thing, and listen, we shouldn't even be up here, and we are.
Yeah, we're all getting nosebleeds. But no, I want to take this chance as well. Tom, thanks for filling in today for you, and you've done a cracking, sterling job, pal. Good luck on Tuesday night. Really appreciate you coming on. Make sure gets down to North Parade, support Tom with what he's doing. Let's get these chickens pecked and these stickers got and put anywhere and everywhere you can find them. And we want to see photos. Tag Tom in any photos of where these stickers end up, and tag us too, because I'm nosy and I'm intrigued. But honestly, both, thanks for coming on this Sunday evening, and we'll see you all for the next one next week. Thank you. We'll go.
Cheers, gents.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
This episode of the 1911 podcast is brought to you by Coral, the proud sponsor of the TalkSport Fan Network. Here for all kinds of fans. For the armchair experts who didn't have enough city points to make that away game. For the football fashionistas that wear claret and amber with pride. And for the nostalgia merchants, because nothing beats the history makers. Whatever kind of fan you are, with Coral's free-to-play reward shaker, win a guaranteed daily reward or offer throughout the season. Simply shake your phone to win. Over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day, 8am to 8pm. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. For more information on safer gambling, visit gambleaware.org.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.